something very, very important. So, in case you don't know, let me let you know again that the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, the one we call NIMET, yes, has forecast thunderstorms and rainfall across the country from today up until Wednesday. Did you hear what I said? From today up until Wednesday. 3 days. 3 days. All right. Now, NIMET's weather outlook released, yesterday in Abuja, predicted isolated thunderstorms with moderate rains today. This morning over the entire Kaduna, Gombe, Bauchi, Kebbi, Adamawa, and of course, Taraba states. In the afternoon and evening, isolated thunderstorms with moderate rains are expected across the northern region. Flash floods are likely in Adamawa, Taraba, and of course, Gombe State. For the central region, a cloudy atmosphere with sunshine in intervals is expected, on Monday morning with moderate rains over Niger, Kogi, Kwara, the FCT, and of course, Benue State. Thunderstorms with moderate rains are forecast over most parts of the central region later, today. NIMET predicted cloudy skies over the southern region this morning with moderate rains expected in Ekiti, Ondo, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, and of course, Cross River States. Moderate rains are anticipated over most parts of the southern region later in the day. And then Tuesday, tomorrow, the northern region will expect cloudy skies with sunshine intervals. Isolated thunderstorms with moderate rains are expected over Borno, Kaduna, Gombe, Bauchi, Taraba, and of course Adamawa State. Later in the day, that is same tomorrow, thunderstorms with moderate rains are forecast over Kano, Jigawa, Yobe, Katsina, Zamfara, Kebbi, and of course Taraba State. For the central region, cloudy skies with sunshine intervals are expected on Tuesday morning with moderate rains over Kogi, Niger, and the FCT, Kwara, Nasarawa states, and the likes. Thunderstorms with moderate rains are expected later in the day over Niger State, Kogi, Kwara, Benue, and of course the Federal Capital Territory. Now, cloudy skies with chances of moderate rains are expected over the southern region, tomorrow morning in Oyo, Ekiti, Ondo, Enugu, Anambra, Ebonyi, and of course, Delta States. Later in the day, tomorrow, yes, light and moderate rains are forecast across most parts of the country. And then on Wednesday, which is the last day, cloudy skies with sunshine intervals are expected over the northern region with slim chances of thunderstorms and rain in Sokoto and Zamfara State. Now in the afternoon on Wednesday and evening also, isolated thunderstorms with moderate rains are expected over Borno, Adamawa, Taraba, Kaduna, Zamfara, Kebbi, and Sokoto states. That's what we hear. In the central region, cloudy skies with sunshine intervals are expected on Wednesday morning with light rains likely in the FCT, Kogi, Kwara, and of course Niger State. Later in the day, thunderstorms with moderate rains are expected in Benue, Kwara, Kogi, and Niger States. Cloudy skies are expected across the southern region on Wednesday morning with moderate rains likely later in the day. NIMET advised motorists to avoid driving during heavy rainfall. And of course, farmers were urged to avoid applying fertilizer or pesticide immediately before rainfall to prevent nutrient leaching. The agency also advised residents, to fasten loose objects, disconnect electrical appliances, and avoid tall trees to reduce risks during storms. Airline operators were urged to obtain airport-specific weather reports for effective operational planning, and residents were encouraged to follow weather updates via NIMET's website, www.nimet.gov.ng. Yes, that's information I just want to give you, okay? All right, quickly to some other updates this beautiful morning. Don't forget, I told you it's raining right now in the city of Lagos. All right. Okay. Now let me let you know quickly, giving you some basic stories this morning. I'll let you know that the human rights lawyer Timi Falana, SAN, has asked the Independent Electoral Commission (INEC) to arraign those violating rules against early campaigning to serve as deterrent to others. Falana was talking to journalists. All right. Last week, INEC chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu described as premature the campaigns by political parties ahead of the 2027 general elections. However, he said that the commission, could not punish violators, as the law did not stipulate appropriate sanctions. That's what it is. And then, just giving you some stories before I start reading out your messages back to back. There's this report I get here. A report reaching me rather here says that there are indications of increasing incidents of manipulation of pumps at filling stations by petrol attendants and their collaborators aimed at cheating customers of petrol, accounting to like millions of liters every year. According to the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Nigerians consume about 50 million liters of petrol every day. All right, but checks, by some media houses have said that does not inspect. The petroleum organization does not inspect these petrol stations to ascertain compliance with the rules of the game in terms of checking functional dispensing machines and, of course, other malpractices by marketers. I am just trying to let you know that pump attendants are manipulating pumps and, of course, extorting petrol customers nationwide. All right. That's information. I'm going to be giving you all of these information in no particular order. Okay. And now there are some of the stories, making the round. First is the fact that outside Nigeria, anyway, Nepal's new interim prime minister, unveiled her first ministers today. Yes, as the Himalayan nation seeks to restore order after deadly youth-led anti-corruption protests that ousted the previous government. Under an outdoor, awning and against the backdrop of the fire-damaged, presidential office, President Ram, gave the oath of office to 3 key ministers in a ceremony broadcast on television. All right, that's information back there in Nepal. Okay, let's leave Nepal and get back to Nigeria. There's this very, very huge story making the round. In fact, I've got several calls as regards this story, and it's oozing out from Niger State. We'll hear that the Niger State government has approved a new policy requiring religious preachers to submit their sermons, for approval before delivering them in public. Some will say, we never hear this one before. We've never heard something like this before. That religious preachers will submit their sermons to government, for scrutiny before they go on pulpit. It's serious. It's a serious matter. I don't know. I wish I might have a conversation with a particular pastor this morning to get his own opinion on these latest happening in Niger State. But there, let me reel out the basic information there. Let me give you some more information. Governor Umar Bago confirmed the development during a live appearance, on TV, explaining that the measure is intended to prevent harmful or insightful messages. In his words, he said, "I didn't ban evangelism. For everyone going to sermon on Friday, he should bring his scripts, his scriptures for review. And for him, it's normal. Even in Saudi Arabia, this is done, according to Bago. And he went for that to say, we cannot say because you have been given the opportunity to be a cleric, you will go out and preach the gospel that is anti-people, anti-government, and you think it's normal. We won't accept that. The governor added that security agencies will collaborate with the state to enforce the policy. It's by fire, by thunder. You will submit your message. Pastor, oh pastor, Imam, oh imam, you shall submit your message in Niger State. The government will look at it very well and might remove Holy Ghost fire. God, remove whatever that needs to be removed, and now say take. It'd be like YX script where the invigilator or the examiner or whoever will go through it and use his red pen, go asterisk and say, no, this particular area you must not. I don't know what's happening, but then I would want to seek your opinion too in this matter, and then we just forge ahead. But before I bring in this man of God, I'll be talking to him virtually though. Let me also read out some messages, some stories quickly. All right. Now, I am aware that school has resumed officially as the new school year begins across the nation, Nigeria. For the 2025-2026 academic session, many parents are struggling with the overwhelming demands. The reopening season has brought fresh waves of anxiety and frustration for many parents and guardians across the country. There are reports that there is the reality of raising tuition fees, costly textbooks, uniforms, and other essentials that must be provided by parents or guardians. This comes amid rising costs of living across the country, with most of the citizens struggling to feed. Well, according to the NBS, which is the National Bureau of Statistics, inflation reaches 21.88% in July 2025, making it increasingly hard for parents to cover basic household needs, let alone rising educational expenses. That's what it is. School resumption, parents groan as fees double for new academic session. Okay? Now, the third story for you is this one. I'll be taking you to the north again. A civil rights group, the International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law, Inter-Society, has raised the alarm over alleged continuous attacks on churches in Nigeria. He claimed that at least 19,000 churches have been sacked in the country by jihadists. In a report released by the organization just yesterday, he claimed that at least 100 churches have been sacked on a daily basis for the past 16 years in Nigeria. So, in all, 19,100 churches have been sacked in Nigeria by jihadists. It's crazy. 19,100 churches have been sacked by jihadists. Okay, let me go a little bit political. 3 other stories to go before we come back home to talk about what is happening in Niger State. Now, here are the political stories from me to you. I just want to let you know, first of all, that Segun Showumi, who was a former spokesman to ex-Vice President Atiku Abubakar, has reiterated that he's still a member of the PDP. That's what he said. He said, if I want to decamp to the APC, I would have done that. But not at this time. I'm still a member of the PDP. That's what he said. And now, back to Governor Bago. Presidency will return to North in 2031 after Tinubu. That's what he's saying. He has said that he has declared that power will return to the North after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's second term. Bago urged Northerners willing to be Nigeria's president to wait until 2031 if you have the interest to be the president of Nigeria. Governor Bago is telling you wait until 2031 because Tinubu will finish his second term, and that will now give power to the North. That is, power will get back to the North. to northern Nigeria. That's what Governor Bago is saying. And then finally, politically speaking, a political activist, Timi Frank, has warned that Nigeria may face Nepal-like unrest if the forthcoming general elections were not credible. Frank urged INEC to implement vital reforms ahead of the polls to ensure free, fair, and credible election. He stressed that without urgent reforms and ethical leadership by electoral and security institutions, Nigeria is likely to face heightened risk of violence and political instability similar to the NSAS protest of 2020. That's what he said. He called on U.S. President Donald Trump and other members of the international community to help pressurize the Nigerian government, especially INEC and the National Assembly, to prioritize electoral reforms, without which there cannot be free and fair elections in 2027. Frank also called for the selection of a new INEC chairman with proven integrity now that the tenure of Mahmoud Yakubu is about to elapse. What Frank is just saying is that Nigeria is risking Nepal-like unrest if there is no credible elections come 2027. All right, that's what Timi Frank is telling every Nigerian. I'll go on a very short break right now. When I return, we get talking. Is that good? This is VOP 90.3 FM. Stay there. I'll be right back. When I get back, we discuss this issue of submitting your sermon to the Niger State government before you can go out there and preach. We'll talk about that shortly. Stay there with me. My name is Jude.
You see, when you look at the West, Europe and the US and all that, you come to find out that the leadership there are people whose values are different from what we have here. The leaders are not thinking of owning properties all over the world. Go to Dubai, buying like primitive acquisition. They'll buy houses in Dubai, buy in UK, buy in the US, buy in the Caribbean. It's a cost. If you go to their houses, you see not less than 20 to 30 vehicles, and they enjoy it. They like moving in convoy of not less than 20, 30 vehicles at a time, so that they will be the people that are calling the shots. In US, if you are a governor of, let me give you an instance like California, which is the richest state in US. You as a governor, if you dare put on convoy, you will not stay more than 24 hours in that office as governor of US, of California. You cannot. I gave you an instance the other time that in 2005, I went to eat in a restaurant. The governor of Texas drove in. He came alone. I didn't even know him. It was my late friend who took me out that was telling me that this man is the governor of Texas. If it were in Nigeria, they would drive away everybody in that restaurant. Or convoy with escort, police, DSS, military, everybody would have gone on the whole of the restaurant. Try it in America. The next day you are gone, and you may go to prison for even trying that. Who are you as a governor in the US for you to take a private jet? What they are doing here, this scam they are doing here and calling themselves governors. You dare not. If you try it, you will pay through you tell them where you're going to get the money from to go and charter a jet. You enter the commercial jet and sit like every other person. Nobody cares. Nobody will be accompanying you to airport, clearing everywhere. People will be carrying bags. No. It's terrible. I landed in JFK 216. I was in the business class with one of the governors. He queued over there and he behaved himself. He cannot jump the queue. If he jumps the queue, he may end up not even entering US. They'll put him on the next flight and take him back to Nigeria, and there's nothing he can do. These are areas where they have sanity. These are areas that are welfare oriented, in as much as they're having hard times now because of the prevailing global economic situation. There's no madness in being in leadership or being in position of authority. They don't steal the way we are doing here. One man will own maybe 40 or 50 properties in FCT because he has entered the political position in the government. It is a terrible thing. It is worrisome and it is disturbing. I pity the upcoming generation. Is this what we are going to bequeath to them? It's very unfortunate to say.
I live in Italy. Last month, I have a daughter and a wife. Do I work alone? I just arrived home, and in my letter box, I had a letter, and it was from the state government addressing to me that to cushion the effect of the high inflation in the society, I'm entitled to go to the nearest post office to get a credit card. That in that credit card, the exchange rate, if I have to compare with the currency in current Nigeria currency, I have almost about 400,000 naira just for me to manage with my family, because they understand that the situation is kind of, is bad. But it's not that things were really bad for me. That is how government works. That is how government works. I didn't have to go and stay on the line. I didn't even make any call. He just came to my house without me asking for it. And I'm not an Italian citizen. Don't get that wrong. I'm not an Italian citizen. I work here. So if they can identify me, still, not even their citizen. So how do somebody in Nigeria who is a citizen be thrown back of France as if we live in a refugee camp? Even in a refugee camp, it doesn't even happen like that. You understand? It's a shame. We could be laughing and we could be talking. The crisis in Nigeria is more than normal. It is so obvious that even a blind man can say, I'm tired, I'm fed up with the system. We should tread caution now because we're already on the edge. And it's not that when something happens, then the Westerners will now come and say, no, we don't support anything. We don't do this. We don't. But they have been saying that the people have been complaining and nobody is coming to our aid because they are happy that our government is giving us one cup of rice because it will show to them that we are poor and they will continue to give us aid and the leaders are happy. They are cashing out.
Issue of palliatives. I will enjoy Nigerians to collect whatever palliative they bring to your side. That is the truth, especially in terms of money. Because if you don't collect it, this money will be embezzled by people who are top government officials. By the time you are saying you are not doing you are just being yourself. Collect the money before they embezzle everything, put it into their pocket or take it to Igbo country. Collect the money and use it for your own good.
You are listening to the number one station, the Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Do not touch that dial.
All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. All right, now back to our discussion this morning. Like I said, Niger state government is demanding from every cleric to submit sermons, for approval. And for some persons, that's more than the word crazy. That's something else, and they're looking at it. Can this really work? Well, Governor Bago has said, well, he would employ, the police and, law enforcement agencies in that state to make sure that that is enforced as quickly as possible. All right. Joining us to discuss this morning is the General Overseer of God Grace Head Cornerstone here in the city of Lagos. He is Pastor Oluwafemi Olubumi. Good to have you join us, sir, and welcome.
Good morning. God bless you, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing just great. I'm doing very fine. How would you look at this statement by Governor of Niger State announcing a new policy requiring religious preachers to submit their sermons for approval before delivering them in public? How would you look at this? This move by the state government?
It's indeed very laughable. I don't know. You see, the problem we have in Nigeria is that we tend to employ the worst of us. It's unfortunate, and I don't know. I don't want to sound insultive, but I don't just believe or think that in my wildest imagination, in this generation and with everything, that we have at our disposal to be able to gain knowledge, somebody can just come up with such archaic and old school policy, old fire. In fact, I don't just know how it came about it, because without mincing words, it won't see the light of day. It can't work.
Are you sure?
As a pastor.
Are you sure? This is government.
As a pastor, let me just say, that's why I said maybe he needs to get enlightened, and thank God for technology, even if he's not a Christian.
Okay.
And I'm not sure. I'm sure it's not much different from the other religions too. As a pastor, even if you have something prepared and get to the pulpit to minister, it is not everything that is written down there that will be said. There are so many things that the Spirit of God will bring and breathe upon that sermon right there where you are on the altar. Instantaneously you receive that word, you receive that direction. Okay, are they going to write down prophecies? Are they going to write down blessings that are specific for people, certain people on that day?
Okay.
So these are the things. That's why I said it's laughable. I mean, it's not. It can't work. It can't. It's not possible. Except, of course, they want to begin to jail all the pastors. The only pastor that this kind of policy can work for is maybe somebody that is not a pastor in the first place, because the Bible says, "As many as are led by the Spirit of God are the children of God." So everything you prepare in your own closet is your own preparation. By the time you get to the pulpit, you get to the podium to minister, the Spirit of God will breathe upon that which you have prepared. So when the Spirit of God is leading towards this direction, saying, okay, minister towards this direction, there is somebody here that needs to hear this very particular information, even though that is not written in what you have prepared. So because you didn't write it down, you won't say it. So that's why I said, I mean, sometimes when I hear some of these things, I just
let's look at the
I
reason.
just laugh.
Let's look at the intention, the reason given. It said is to prevent harmful or insightful messages. Harmful or insightful messages. That's what he said.
If you want to prevent harmful or insightful messages, look for people that do it. Look for people that preach those kind of messages. Use 1 or 2 or 3 of them as scapegoats. They are not difficult to find. That's it. A good pastor, a good cleric, somebody that is interested in keeping the nation together will not preach an insightful message. So instead of you to now say, let everybody be submitting their, I mean, that's why I said, sometimes, I don't know, it's like we don't think before we take this. How can someone submit a message that is not even his own? The pastor is not preaching his own message. He's preaching the message that is coming from God. And I believe it's so with every other religion. Okay? So how can he submit it? Is it that we go to God and say, okay, those things you want to add to this now, everything you want to say through me, I need to submit it to the government? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Do you,
so if...
Okay.
Yes, please.
Do you see that as a ban on evangelism? Kind of.
It's not even a ban. It's just pure, simple, illogical, and it's impossible. It can't work. That's why I said it won't see the light of day. The only way it will see the light of day is if every pastor in Niger State is not led by the Spirit of God, is not submissive to the directive of God who sent them with the message. You can't preempt God. Can you preempt God? And it is very clear that God is not an author of confusion. God will not give you a message that is insightful. God will not give you a message that is divisive. He won't do that. So that's that if you are looking for, if that is the reason for this archaic and very provocative law or decision he wants to make, then he should just go. Anyone that preaches insightful messages, arrest them. If there is a law to that effect, the law has been passed by the National Assembly, arrest them and make them pay. Make them scapegoats. When 1, 2, 3 people, 4 people are arrested and they listen to the sermon and they say that yes, true, this sermon is insightful and the arm of the law, deals with them, everybody will fall in line.
Okay.
But this present policy, it will see the light of day. Now, it will work.
You can even imagine what Niger State will look like now on a Sunday, because pastors will be scared. How am I going to come out to now go and give my script, give my message, sermon to government to scrutinize? Okay, in the words of the governor, he said, for everyone going to sermon on whether Friday or Sunday, he should bring his scriptures for review. And it's normal, according to him. He said even in Saudi Arabia, this is done.
who is going to review them?
Okay.
Who is going to review them? Is he the one that will review them, or is he going to appoint pastors too to review them, or imams to remove? Because you can't get an imam to review a pastor's message, and you can't get a pastor to review an imam's message because he is not knowledgeable about the Quran, or vice versa. So you have to get somebody that is knowledgeable about that sermon to be able to interpret it and say, okay, this one has gone beyond the boundary. You shouldn't say it like this, or this one is not in the Bible. So who are those people that will be scrutinizing these messages? That's the question. And then how many messages are they going to be able to scrutinize? That is a lot of employment. How many messages are they going to? The number of churches in Niger State, because I have been to Niger State, the number of churches in Niger State, is it by local government they are going to begin to scrutinize? I don't think that's why. You see, my dear brother, sometimes these things are just, I believe, is just to gain public attention. You know, these days politicians use so many things to gain attention and to trend online. So I don't think it's feasible. I don't think.
But you know, for churches, they will immediately call these antichrist, because this same man recently was guard against the media. He shut down a radio station all of a sudden, and now he's saying, okay, now it's now time to face churches. You know.
I don't believe it's churches alone. I believe it's both churches and mosques, and we cannot say it's antichrist. I just believe he's being overzealous, and like I said, he wants to score cheap political points and trend. You know, because as it is now, it's trending. It's trending. Before you know it, he will now say some people spoke to him, so because of that they have viewed it. These are just ways to trend and to gain unnecessary and I don't know, publicity that is not I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. There are so many things that are involved that will not make it work. So many things. Logistically,
okay,
spiritually, has so many. It can't work. It can't work.
I want to quote the governor verbatim right now. He said, "We cannot say because you have been given the opportunity to be a cleric, you will go out and preach the gospel that is anti-people, anti-government, and you think it's normal." The governor also added that security agencies will collaborate with states to enforce the policy. He said, it's in that direction we want to be able to see what they are preaching, hear what they are saying. We are working together with security agencies, the Department of State Services, DSS, and the police, Nigerian Security and Defense Corps, and of course the military, to make sure this is done. In addition to sermon approvals, the state is also introducing a licensing system for preachers. If you must preach now in Niger State, you must have license to do that. You know.
Well, what I'm saying, and I believe is the normal thing to do, is to arrest whoever. So far as there's a law, that means they are going to remove the law of free speech in Nigeria. You are going to, how do we call it now? You are going to trample upon that law of freedom of speech in Nigeria, and then now form your own law in Niger State to say, okay, you can't speak freely anymore. You need to, monitor what you say. Now, if that law is in place, anyone that breaks the law can now be held liable. Without bringing that law, if you say people should come and submit their sermons for clearance, if I submit my sermon, you clear it, I go to my pulpit, I preach another thing. So what are you going to do? I have submitted my sermon. I have abided with your law. And then I go back and then I say something else, or I say whatever I want to say. So what is that arrest going to be? Is it going to be because I presented a fake sermon, or because I spoke against the government? So if speaking against the government is the problem, let the law be against those that are inciting and causing problem against the government. Once that law is in place, anyone that flouts it will be dealt with. Simple. There is that submitting of sermon is, as far as I'm concerned, total bagadash. It's not feasible. It's not. We have to be sincere with ourselves.
Okay.
Licensing of pastors, licensing of ministers, there is nothing bad in that. If that is what the government wants to do, I think, as far as I'm concerned, if you know your onions and you have your certificates and you have a source where people can say this is where this one came from, I don't think that's a bad idea. I am in support of that. If he wants to do that, that is very good, because we have a lot of bad eggs now. Anybody wakes up now, just opens a church and say, I'm a pastor. Even someone that has never crossed a church before can just turn himself to a pastor overnight. So if he wants to license them, the certificates you need, everything you need to become a licensed preacher, fantastic. That is okay. But this one of submitting sermons, no, it can't work.
The senior pastor, God's Grace Head Cornerstone, Pastor Oluwafemi Olubumi, thank you so much for having this conversation with us this morning.
God bless you, sir. Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right.
Everyone.
Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Let me get to you, everybody. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. WhatsApp is 081 717 56338. 081 717 56338. Let's have a robust conversation altogether. Let's look at these issues and more on the show before we wrap up. Move away from your radio set or turn down the volume. Just about 60 seconds for you. Mind what you say on the national radio, please. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Sorry.
Hello? Are you there? Okay. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Judy.
Good morning.
I'm laughing now. I want to submit my summon to the governor of Niger State. I want to bring my summon from John 3:3. You must be born again. What did he understand there?
Okay.
You must be born again. What did he understand there? All these our leaders. Then we just come out and can I say, are they taking something? What did he understand? I must be born again. You must be born again in John 3:3. If I submit this summon to him, what did he understand inside that verse? Or let's say Jesus is Son of God, or Jesus is God. Will he understand it? What are wrong with this our leaders? Please, this law is I don't see it as it's irrelevant, because when they bring their own to me in their Quran, I will not understand it. Okay. What will you scrutinize in this verses now? Jesus is Son of God, or Jesus is God, or you must be born again before you enter the kingdom of God. What will he understand inside the chapters and verses? My name is Obinna, calling from Edugo.
Thank you so much, Obinna. Appreciate your call. All right, let's hear from some of the presents, okay? Well, it's our country. Funny stories every day. Hello, good morning here.
Hello, morning.
Good morning.
Kamigide.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Festus, calling from Mayo.
Okay.
The governor is a failure. It's a failure already. All right.
Okay. Oh, it's so simple. All right. Thank you so much. Let's do more. Hello, good morning. Move away from your radio set if you want to call me. That's how to call, okay? You move away from your radio set or just turn down the volume. What I need is your phone, not that radio set, please. Thank you. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good luck.
Good morning.
Yeah. Please, we have to believe
Okay.
Yeah. My first time calling, sir.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah. What I see in this Nigerian government, they don't know what to do. They are just convinced of their state. Because insecurity, people are dying of hunger every day by day. They are just there drafting, just doing full of nonsense thing they are doing there. Because they have seen Nigeria as in irrelevant people because they put themselves as a government in their position. This God, I don't know what to say. This thing happening in this country won't go like this. Saying they are using free cars, free electricity, free monitoring. So I don't know what to say again because this thing is like they are taking us as a fool in this country. What concerns us about common if they are doing well, why are they still afraid of people to preach against them? That means they know what they are doing is not okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's leave it there. Let me read this message. It's part of some of the things with some of the stories we touched on this earlier this morning. Someone is saying Akpabio and Wike were among the group that played prominent role in Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's failure. Same people doing more in Tinubu's government. See how people repeat history. If I happen to be a pastor, I won't accept to officiate in Rivers Thanksgiving. Okay. Our churches should stop allowing God's name to be ridiculed. Niger governor should help to reduce mass deaths under his watch and reduce his meddling in religious and other matters. All right. He previously said people shouldn't carry dreadlock. Amechi from Mafoluku. Okay. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
You see, people used to say somebody who cannot dance of joy and peace. Is it fight that you lead to what that you fight? Niger state governor, because he has nothing to do. He should face his insecurity there. That is Christianity or religious body that are already peaceful. He should fight for insecurity because they have not job to do. That is their problem. All these leaders, they should retain their head. They should get their head, honestly.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you for calling. Let me listen to you first. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good day. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Talk to us. We can hear you.
Yeah, my name is Samuel. I'm calling from Shasha.
All right.
Yeah. So these governors, I don't know, they just enjoy chasing cloud. Is this is that the major problem? He will not face the insecurity that is affecting his state. I see that bill as dead on arrival. Of course, there are ways to go about. If at all you want to regulate, you don't just come and say you start bringing your sermon. You can go through. You can go through this. The body of all this body of Christ, you can go through them and the way do it in a way, not just come in and say, is he the one that will now start viewing the assignment? It does not even. It's dead on arrival. So right. Let me just leave it there.
Leave it there.
Let them face their insecurity and make the country a better place for them.
Thank you so much.
Have a nice day, Jerry.
Yeah. And then someone is saying something here. He said, where is that message? Okay, it's all right. Let's look at, let's see if we can read some messages here. Something very, very different. Timi Tokwe on Natoye from Ijagama community saying it's quite unfortunate and disheartening that South Africa, that Nigeria did everything to ensure that they got independence, and suddenly turned out to be the country that would be treating Nigerian citizens living in the country in such a cruel manner. The most worrisome is where the government of Nigeria has continued to remain dormant on the issue. Charity, they say, begins at home. Would you expect Nigerians abroad not to brag when our politicians and Oba, who committed crime and have looted public funds, are also bragging and walking free on the streets? Let's call it spade a spade. Nothing is working in Nigeria again under the present administration. God bless Nigeria. Timi on Atoye, thank you so much. The level of illegality going on in this country is alarming. If federal government does not allow or does not have any case against Nnamdi Kanu, he should be released. Injustice to one is injustice to all. If we Nigerians are okay with what is happening in Nigeria, it could happen to anybody, anywhere, at any time. Yes, we cannot allow this injustice to continue. AGK from Orile Gomu is the one who is sending me that message. And let me look at some more now quickly. Edozie Din and Naji saying, as much as we Nigerians keep staying aloof, or those crops of political leaders will keep treating us like slaves in Nigeria. As it stands now, it seems like Nigeria is an autopilot because we don't know where the country is headed. The unnecessary killings going on in Nigeria is heart-wrenching. I always ask, what does the life of a Nigerian worth? Any government that cannot protect the citizens and properties of the citizens of the citizenry is a colossal failure. Poverty has been taken over by the lives of Nigeria. Okay, Edozie Dean, thank you so much for that message. Good morning to you. Southeast leaders are playing a naive politics with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Okay, it's fine. Good morning. I'm not disappointed with a government that brought everyone to get power. A government that promised to widen tax net and reduce purchasing power of the people. She cuts from Itire, and then giving thanks to God from government of Rivers State is still a good one to appreciate God, no matter what. Please, the churches should start speaking out now before it's too late. Thank you, and to have a blessed day. Okay, thank you for your messages or your message also. Let's look at some more now. Okay, fine. Let me take this call first. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Mr. Bright. I'm calling from Adamon.
You need to speak up, please. Please speak up.
Hello?
All right, I can hear you now. Talk to us.
All right. Yeah, this is Mr. Bright. I'm calling from Adamon.
All right.
See, this very thing that this governor said is not a Nigerian problem. That is not our problem. See, should I call it anti-Christ? It's not anti-Christ. It's anti-law. Anti-freedom of speech. That no one can say whatever you see that is not right. If you say it against government, they will come after you. It's not right like that. Not right like that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. He came back from Mafuluku. He's saying, good morning. Did you observe that Saudi Arabia has been referenced because it favors them and their policy, forgetting that other things Saudi citizens are enjoying as a result of their policies? This group of rulers have forgotten their brain in the mosque. Mind what you say on the national radio, please, okay? Thank you. Judah, when one lacks the knowledge to make life easy for the people, he looks for ways of diverting their attention and by extension cause havoc and tension. The Niger State governor has eyes on Christians or on Christians, not Muslims. These are the people that evangelize. This is one of the efforts of Muslim ticket and must be stopped. What he's doing to end, what is it doing to end insecurity in the state? Timi Frank, I believe you will lead from the front because the rigging of 2023 election will be a child's play compared with what's coming in 2027. The signs are with us, but truly, what politicians are doing here is far worse than whatever Nepal thought they have seen. Nigeria is a misery. Chijoke sent that message from his solo. And then, this is a time the southern leaders will know what they have done to themselves by taking bribe from the Fulani leaders to sell their people and their religion, to Fulanis. And they forgot that the money they use in bribing them is from the south here. It is a shame to the southern leaders. They are not wise enough to know where, they are going to. Islamization? Village man from Idimo. That's not what he said, though. I agree with your guest. Just last week, I prepared some prayer points on paper, but getting to the pulpit, I never use any of those prayer points. Holy Spirit directs and not the written sermon. So it can't work. Emmanuel from Isolo. All right, let's do more calls. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Kamijide.
Good morning.
My name is Chika.
Okay.
You see, I want to ask our leaders. They have the grace to overpower men. Do they have the grace to overpower God? A certain king in the Bible said, "My heart, come and eat. I have enough money." God asked him, "Tonight, I need your spirit. I need your soul." You see, this fight in Niger State is not a discussable one. God will deal with that man. It's a simple thing. Because in his own religion, they don't preach outside. It's another way of Islamization, of stopping Christianity to thrive. So the issue is that let's leave the fight for God. Christian doesn't fight. God will see us through. Thank you.
Thank you so much. God will see us through. Let me look at this message. What the Niger State government is doing may be controversial, but let's not be, deceived. I grew up in the north. We are on the other side of religion. Too much insightful and hate sermons, is too much. Okay, the government should look for another way to curb this. John from Ijaniki. And I went for that to say, well, I don't blame him. The religious leaders caused this by, their hateful preaching. Okay, thank you, John. Let's leave it there. Nana from Egbeda is saying, please, all these pastors should be checked because they are deceiving their members, giving false prophecies and making their members to be indolent. We need to free our people from these shackles of these pastors. Nana, it's okay. Your opinion. Good morning and good friends in the studio. Nice job all these politicians are doing or are not taking Nigerians seriously. Please, my brother, tell the governor to face his work. Leave religion alone. My name is Maxwell Mago from Orile. Okay, it's all right. Good morning, Ikami Jude and your guest, Solomon Ashika from Mushin. At times, I do imagine the kind of foods our leaders normally eat before they impute in their hearts, in their kind of laws that particularly see, your words are strong, Solomon. That Niger State governor should be careful. The so-called law is satanic. He should face the insecurity ravaging Niger State. Funny enough, it's not for Christians alone, but Muslims. That's what he said. Our leaders have failed us woefully, but religion and tribalism will not allow us to unite and force, a reset in our system. John Holy is from Ladipo. Okay. I am Bishop from Lagos Line in the Kotun Market. Good morning, Ikami. The governor of Niger State have other reasons for enacting this particular law, but I don't see it having any impact or improving the welfare of the people. There are so much insecurities in their state already. The other day it was flooding. He has so much problems bedeviling the state, to contend with. He should face those issues first and leave religious leaders alone. Religion, they say, is the opium of the people. God bless Nigeria. If you don't live in the north, you might not know what is happening there. The people that don't have the same faith with you preached hatred. The man knows what he is doing. Okay. You say they are tired of fighting Nigerians. Now they want to fight God. Okay. Who can battle with the Lord? He should be careful. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. All right, let me do this call first. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Welcome.
Ikame, my man.
That's my name. What's your name?
My name is MK from Okota.
All right.
You see what is happening in Nigeria. You see the pastor you brought this morning. I heard all what he said. I can say that those people that is preaching that the government should locate them and deal with them. He's a man of God. Okay, this guy that was saying this tonight, he's saying generally to all Christians and Muslims. Now, you as a pastor, you came in, you start differentiating that anyone that is preaching against the government that the government should deal with them. How can it be? If the government are doing good, we the push against them. But you look at the differentiation now. Is that differentiating people that is preaching against the government that the government should locate them and deal with? How can a pastor come on air start talking like that? Abba,
all right.
God will help us.
It's okay. Thank you so much. Okay, good morning, Jude. Your first caller made a very good point. Pastors should first submit John chapter 3 verse 3. They should submit John chapter 3 verse 3 to the governor. Maybe he will become a Christian, Abi. If I chiku from Egbeda. Okay. John chapter 3 verse 3. Let's look at what John... But before I read that, anyway, can you see how these governors think? These set of leaders that cannot use police and the army to fight insecurity in their state, but now they can use the same security agency to fight people. God deal. Mr. Egbe from Ijegun. If there is any oil responsible for... No, it's the reason why I'm dodging this message. Let's leave it like that, Oga. Let's leave it. Let's leave the governors with their mental state, okay? Now lie, I no go read down. Okay, please, let me go. Let me go. Let me go. John chapter 3 verse 3 says, Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. That was what John 3:3 said. So he's saying, make we read down for governor. Maybe he can go change his mind. It's okay. It's time to go, everyone. I love you all so much, and thank you so much for being a part of the show today. Yeah, it will make a return 7 a.m. tomorrow. My name is Jude. Ikami Jude. And like I always say, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everywhere, I am IKAMIJUDEH. It's just one word. IKAMIJUDEH. That is Ikami Jude. Let's talk more, okay? I love you all so much. Up next is news at 12 on VOP 90.3 FM. Good morning.